welcome to Gin Fun at winemastery.co.uk. My name is John Whiteford. This is
Jacqueline from Jacqson Limited.
And this is, of course,
John Murphy.
And it's a little bit different. You'll notice that we're not in the cellar this evening, or at any point we're in the cellar. We're in a fantastic little bar in a semi-rural town called Honley. We've kindly hosted this shoot where Jacqueline's going to tell us all about her fantastic gin. Yes. Now, before we get into the actually tasting the gin and talking about the gin, let's just talk a little bit to Jackie about how you started. I mean, why produce gin? What on earth prompted you to do it?
Yeah, it's a good question actually, because it wasn't my background at all. It all started, and I blame my son completely for this. It was about 2 years ago. He took me to a gin tasting to a bar in Leeds. We had a lovely time, tasted a lot of gins, but we kind of thought there wasn't anything really local to us. We live about 5 minutes up the road from where we are here at the Krafty Kettle. We thought we wanted something really local. So at the end of this evening, which looking back possibly wasn't the best time to make a life-changing decision after a lot of gins, went home and started to do a lot of research, basically.
Okay. Well, at least you're presuming you're doing the research sober.
Absolutely. Started the next day, I promise.
And so obviously you enjoyed it, and you thought you could bring something else to it. Presumably you wanted to, bring your own taste to the marketplace.
We really wanted to do something local. So my gin, it took me about a year in the making. It's got 10 botanicals and 2 really local ones of rhubarb.
Okay.
Obviously with the Wakefield Triangle connection, and licorice. With its Pontefract case.
Yeah, or Yorkshire. Yeah.
And the rhubarb works really well with the licorice, because the rhubarb can be a bit tart, a bit sharp, and licorice is really soft and sweet. So I found that they work really nicely together.
You didn't, I presume you didn't just go immediately, that's what I'm going to do. Presumably there's a lot of trial and error.
There was a lot of trial and error, and Peter, my husband, bless him, had to do a lot of tasting. So it was a really tough job.
I'm sure he got through it. I'm sure he managed.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So how did you actually go about? Did you sort of say this is roughly what the taste we're trying to get, and we think these botanicals are going to get us there, and then just sort of keep slimming it down, fine tuning it?
Yeah, well there are some, gin by very definition has to be predominantly juniper. That's kind of a legal definition. So you start from there, and then there are other various botanicals which you need to add to bring out certain things depending on what sort of flavour you want. Some of the botanicals help bind the others together, so some will bring kind of like an earthy flavour, some will add the sweetness like the licorice, some will add creaminess like cardamom, that sort of thing. So I had a lot of botanicals in little pots all over it. It looked like I was growing something fairly horrible at times. And then just started blending them and fiddling about with the quantities as well, because it's not just getting the right ones, it's like how much of this and how much of that.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to actually come up with
about a year.
Sounds like a fun year though, doesn't it?
That sounds like a fun year.
Well, it was only after I'd started actually ordering the equipment for the still that I actually told Peter, and I thought at some point I am going to have to tell him that we're turning our daughter's bedroom into a distillery.
So that's quite a commitment, then, isn't it?
Telling your daughter.
Sleeps under the still.
There is no room for her. And she has moved out. I think she's actually quite sorry that she has.
I was going to say, she's not welcome back now, I guess.
She is, but in a purely advisory capacity.
So presumably, obviously you've got the taste that you like, and then presumably the next stage was saying, well, I like it, but that doesn't mean to say everybody else is going to.
Exactly. I tried it out on a lot of friends first of all, but it was terrible for them, obviously.
Obviously.
Like, come around, try this, and took a poll, which one do you like best? After 20 gins, nobody actually cares, I discovered.
Yeah, I can imagine that happening, yeah.
Yes, I tried it out on them, and then just thought, well, I like this, and there's only a certain point you can keep testing it, you know, and you think, well, I'm going to have to just go with this. I like it. Let's try it.
Let's see if somebody else does. Because I think part of the problem with friends sometimes is they're not going to want to hurt you. They say, oh, it's horrible, it's horrible. There's always that nagging doubt, presumably, in your mind that they're actually not being honest with you, or your friends.
I've got some pretty brutal friends.
Get a name.
It isn't you, you're thinking it's you. Honest.
So, presumably, then the other hurdle having did you have to have, in order to be able to experiment? Do you have to have a license to be able to do that?
You have to have a license to produce gin. You have to apply for all sorts of licenses. I had to go on a course to teach me how to sell alcohol responsibly.
Okay.
Apply for all sorts of licenses, and then obviously to produce it, you need the licenses. And I was a bit concerned because we literally do it in a daughter's bedroom, and it's still there. So I was thinking, actually, are you allowed to do this? But the method that I use to distill is by process of a cold vacuum in a rotary evaporator. So it's not as if I've got furnaces up there firing away, or it's not dangerous from that point of view.
Okay, I've heard someone else doing that in York was doing a very similar method. York Yorkshire is there's quite a few distillers in Yorkshire itself, isn't there?
Yeah, I think Yorkshire gin is a thing now. I think, but the good thing about gin is that all of them are different. You can actually make your gin taste completely different to somebody else's by dint of putting all the different botanicals in.
Yeah. Excellent. And then once you have the license to sample it, is it then a completely different license to actually make it in bulk, or is it the same licenses?
No, it's the same thing, and HMRC make sure they get their blood out of you.
Of course.
That's what they're there for, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow. So the journey, and how long? So how long have you been selling the gin now? So
We launched practically a year ago.
Really?
So, almost to the day.
So in February
awesome.
2017, yeah?
And the idea was make a few bottles, Sam would go out, and that's where we came up with the name. Obviously I'm Jacqueline, he was the son, well he still is the son, but, so that, the Jacqson was the easy bit. We thought, I'll make a few bottles, he can go out craft fairs, sell a few bottles or whatever, but it's just...
Mushrooms,
Yes,
That's great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Great news, yeah.
Shows it was one of the first places we came along to.
Excellent, that's what we like to hear.
Sheridan in Brickhouse, you can get it there. Excellent. So, in terms of, I think probably the next thing is actually to taste it now. You can walk us through the sort of the tastes as we get through them. So, see us in part 2. We look forward to seeing you there. Cheerio.
See you there.